Good evening everybody and welcome to the 2020 Bingham Cricket Club BAFTAs, which are the Bingham Cricket Club Awards for Tremendous Cricket Achievements. Yes, the C is silent. I for one think it was amazing that we got to play so much cricket in 2020, and seeing as we can't have a presentation night, this little video is going to award those who did well on and off the pitch just as our normal presentation night would. I'm your host, Tommy Lloyd, so please join me in the journey of going through the 2020 season and seeing who scooped up the awards for this year. So to start, we're going to go straight into things with women's cricket. This is the first year that Bingham Cricket Club have had a women's softball team. It was coached by first team captain Tim Snapes and captained by Helen Fox Andrews, who I will go to now for the awards.
Hi guys, so not quite the presentation we would have perhaps hoped for this year, but thanks Tommy so much for making the effort to put something together. It's so much better that we're recognising the people who turn out for our teams and support the club week in, week out. So much effort goes in from so many people, so thank you Tommy. For the women's team, I've been asked to do nominations without talking too much about the season, which is difficult, but so we've got a trainer of the year that's been nominated by Tim, and that goes to Sarah Smith. Absolutely fantastic, Sarah. You turn up, you're so committed, you push yourself every week because you're always telling me afterwards that you hurt. So make sure you get some protein in you because that will help that one. Also moving on to our player of the year. So I was torn between two people. So sorry guys, but I haven't split it. So we've got somebody who's played winter and summer for us. They're just an absolute legend wherever we put them, whether it be bowling, batting, fielding, they are absolutely on it. They've improved so much during the year. They've been playing with the juniors, they've been playing with the senior men team as well as the women's team. So I think you know by now that that nomination goes to Taylor. So congratulations Taylor, thoroughly well deserved. I didn't want to go through this though without recognising somebody who's only with us during the summer, and that's Sarah Axtell. So when you come in the summer, you bring so much. You bring so much enthusiasm, so much entertainment, the comedy value when we're socialising. It's just brilliant. The energy you bring to the team is amazing. So thank you so much. It certainly wouldn't be the same without you. Guys, I hope we get some more cricket in a slightly better form next year. I hope our winter season doesn't get completely ditched like it did this time. And I hope we can get some more out for the summer. Thanks so much for everything that you bought this year. Fingers crossed for a better year next year. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Helen. It's great to see that the women's team has been such a success early on in its life, and we hope that will continue. Well done to Sarah for such committed training, Sarah Smith that is, and also to Sarah Axtell for taking it on so well in the summer. I know Charlie was playing as well, and we've got the whole Axtell family playing for Bingham now. But a massive well done to Taylor Porter, who, as Helen said, has not only represented the women's team but has really become a key asset for the Sunday Development 11, as we'll come on to later, and also the under-15s boys team. So Taylor's taken cricket in her stride really well, and as you would when you're the daughter of Nigel Porter. So moving on to our next award, which is Club Men of the Year. So this is, as has been in previous years, for someone who has contributed a lot to Bingham, mainly off the pitch, whether that be through coaching, helping out with games, stuff they do behind the scenes. It's always a tight one, and there's always so many people that can be recognised, as we'll come on to later. But now I'm going to cut to Bingham Cricket Club Secretary Nigel Lashbrook, who is going to reveal the Clubman of the Year for 2020.
I am delighted, as part of the Bingham Cricket Club 2020 awards, to give the results for what has traditionally been called the Clubman of the Year. Possibly Club Persons of the Year might be more relevant as we go forward. But I'm delighted to say that this year, with a number of nominations from the committee, I'm delighted to say that we had two very strong people emerge, and it was just impossible, totally impossible to split them. And therefore I'm delighted to say that for all their outstanding contributions to what, as we all know, was a very short but ultimately very successful season for Bingham, the two club persons of the year are Tim Snapes and Sarah Smith, and many congratulations to both of them. Tim, not only his work as first team captain, but also his constant support of all the club does, and particularly his extra commitment this year in supporting and helping out as women's coach, and Sarah for her tireless work as club welfare officer. Not to mention the many times she turns up to support the club in that capacity, and as a parent, and as, of course, as a scorer on Sundays and other days of the week, and junior cricket and so on. I'm delighted to say that Sarah and Tim will share the award for 2020, and many congratulations to both of them.
Thank you very much, Nigel. So, as he said there, 2 people gaining the Clubman of the Year this year. Sarah Smith, a second award. Her work off the pitch as Club Welfare Officer is second to none. She does an unbelievable job, and a lot of it goes unrecognised because, especially, I'd say the players don't know that anyone's doing it. But Sarah's work is fantastic, and the club would struggle to run without it. And then Tim Snapes, with all of his work he's done with the women's team. I think at the start of the season, the women's team, they'd done well in the winter, but just needed a bit of direction, and Tim's coming in, giving them to that. And even now, in the off-season, is still running sessions for them on Saturday mornings. So it's great work from Tim. So well done to the pair of you. Moving on to the next team's awards, and it's the Saturday third 11. This year, the third 11 was captained by Bingham Cricket Club legend. He's been here a very long time, Conrad Walker. I think a big thing for him was that, you know, he wanted to help develop the juniors, especially his son Aaron was in that side. So I caught up with Conrad, and here's what he said for the awards. So if we get into some awards for the season, so we'll start off with the bowling award for the season. So what one game where someone impressed you with their bowling in particular, one spell of bowling maybe that was the best. What have you gone with?
Yeah. What I've gone with is actually the last game of the season. Excuse my phone there. Last game of the season, as I say, not spectacular for number of wickets taken, but it probably summed up what we'd been trying to achieve all season, which was the bowler actually getting the right line consistently, but also the right length. So all bar maybe 1 or 2 balls outside leg, he got it absolutely right for the entire 5 overs that he bowled, and that's Archie Gordon-Beeson.
Very good.
It actually sums up exactly what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And actually work into plans. And I
very
think
good. So well done, Archie. So Archie takes the bowling award for this year. On to batting. One innings where maybe someone impressed you a lot, did something you didn't think maybe they could do.
Probably a couple on us. I mean, Sam Smith certainly batted well the last game and did what I expected of him, including an audacious shot, which was well known at the time. But I have to admit, and I'll apologise for this, because the performance that summed up for me was the length of time they batted at the top of the innings. To bat 20 overs, seeing off a decent opening pair. He'll hate me, and I hate myself for doing it, but it's Aaron Walker.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
As I say, I have to admit, for someone so young to bat like that, admittedly, he was helped along again, and it fits in with what we've already discussed. He opened the batting with Matt Colburn, and that was that worked really well.
Yeah.
And as I say, saw off, and that for me was the batting performance this year.
Yeah, definitely. I know Aaron's worked very hard this year at staying at the crease, which, as an opening batsman, as someone his age, the shots will come and the power will come, but the ability to stay there is one that not a lot of kids his age have, and he looks after his wicket very well, so I think he's very, very deserved of that award.
Yeah.
So the final one, the big one really, your overall player of the year. Before we get into it, is there any honourable mentions you want to give out?
Cool, crikey, mate. There's many. I have to admit, I mean, all the youngsters. I mean, we mentioned Maliki, we mentioned Darren, Sam Smith, Archie. Harry's opened the bowling at times and bowled really well. As I say, I think I could go through all the youngsters, so apologies for missing names. But what I would like to thank is all the adults that have come in at various times to help out. And as I say, it's not been just good for the youngsters. It's actually helped me out at times, and that goes for parents as well. As I say, Liz scoring, Sarah's scored a couple of times for me, and Stu obviously umpiring a couple of times. So, as I say, it's been a collective effort and really good.
Good stuff.
And the one name I've missed out, who is the player of the year, he's bowled brilliantly for me when obviously being the lead bowler. He stepped in, being real positive with the youngsters. As long as he removes the reverse sweep from his batting, I think he'll be a credit to the team for a couple of years before he improves and starts knocking on the door of the second team again. Yeah. No prizes for guessing that's Tom Blackburn.
Yeah, well done, Blackburn. I think he's taken very well to 13 cricket this year. He's really taken it in his stride. I think he was a bit downbeaten at the start of the season, maybe that he wasn't getting as much second team cricket as he wanted. But as soon as he had that chat with you and sort of, he's going to, help you out and take on the vice captaincy, I think he sort of took that in his stride and did really well with bat and ball.
Yeah, as I say, he's been a real positive for the youngsters, and as I say, hopefully, we'll see what happens next year if we're both there. So,
fingers crossed, no one's going to kick us out yet.
So there you have it, Tom Blackburn, Archie Gordon-Beeson and Aaron Walker picking up the awards for the threes. I think it's important to stress what Conrad said, that it's very much a team that is focusing on developing the youth, but also that pivot from the adults, which Conrad's done very well this year, and Tom Blackburn's taken that in his stride as well. But it's great to see that Archie and Aaron both developing and picking themselves up an award. So moving on to the next award, which is the Parent of the Year Awards. This is someone who, on a match day, gives lifts to the sides, might score, might umpire, might do a whole host of things. So I'll go to previous winner of this award, Kim Giles, who's going to reveal the winner.
Hello everybody, determined to do this outside in the sun, convincing myself it's cricket weather. Very different awards ceremony this year, but today I would like to present the Parent of the Year Award, and it goes to Liz Warner. Well done, Liz, fully deserved. Stay safe everybody, and I will see you next year.
So well done, Liz, Liz Warner does an unbelievable amount on a match day, whether it's making drinks, scoring, whatever. She scored basically every Sunday game for me and Louis, which made our lives much easier. So thank you very much, Liz, and we hope that you continue to help us in the coming years. So the next award is the Fielding Award, which is worked out by the amount of fielding catches and run-outs someone has done. So unlucky wicket-keepers, you are not eligible for this award. Giving this award is Bingham Cricket Club legend and great fielder Holly Cox.
Hello everyone, hope you're all right and enjoying as much as possible current state of affairs. I hope everyone enjoyed the cricket season as much as possible. I think the club did pretty well and was very successful in the limited chances you had to play cricket this year, and I think that the club has grown from strength to strength again, which is great considering everything that is going on. So first of all, big congratulations to all of you that played and took part and organised everything this year. From what I saw from afar, it looked pretty good, and it seemed that everyone had a great time. I've been asked to present this award, the Fielding Award. It's a massive surprise to me. I don't think he was ever going to win it. I'm not quite sure if everyone else had butter on their fingers all season, but anyway, contributed to 10 fielding wickets this season, 9 catches and a run out. So the person that's won the Fielding Award this year is Tommy Lloyd. So massive congratulations to him. Hopefully next year he might be able to pick up maybe a bowling award, or even his batting is coming along, so maybe notch up a couple more runs next season. But no, honestly, although I wasn't really part of the cricket club last year, it was really good to see everybody involved and playing as much as possible and being as keen as ever to get games played no matter what the situation. So again, big shout out to everyone who's played, and obviously the committee, likes of Paul and everyone else who just keeps the club running in such a great way. Hopefully we'll be back next year and playing more competitive cricket, and you never know, I might even show my face a little bit more depending on what's going on. But anyway, I hope you all have a great time watching the virtual presentation, and going into the festive period just around the corner. I hope everyone has a safe time and enjoys it as much as possible, and hopefully I'll see you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you for that, Harley. I can't bat or bowl, but I like to think I can field, so it's nice to get a little bit of recognition. Thanks, Harley. The next award is the Trainer of the Year. So this is someone who always turns up to training, gives their absolute most, just wants to improve at their cricket. And I'd say there's quite a few candidates for this, but the award has been decided by senior cricket manager Josh Kingsley, who will reveal the winner now.
Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. I'm here to present the 2020 Trainer of the Year award. This season was fantastic to see so many senior players coming down training on a Wednesday night. I think a lot of our success this season has come from people wanting to practice, wanting to get better, and it was great to see the first and second 11 win their competitions, and I think that's all down to you guys coming to practice on a Wednesday night. Could have been a lot of people to have this award, but we've chosen someone who always has his name down, week in, week out. He turns up, works hard on his batting, bowling, fielding, and he just loves cricket. And that person is Cam Good. So well done, Cam. Thoroughly deserved, mate. Top work.
Well done, Cam. Cam always puts 100% in nets, whether it's talking to the club coach Andy about how he can improve, or whacking me on the train tracks 4 times in 5 deliveries. He trains very well and always has done, and he's definitely one that the youngsters can look up to in that respect. Moving on to the next section, which is the awards for the Sunday Development 11. This was the first year that we had an official Sunday Development 11 since 2016, and Paul Mason, who I'm sure you all know, does an unbelievable job with it. The mix of basically kids and dads in that side, and Paul guides them very well. Obviously knows a lot what he's talking about, and I caught up with him when he dished out the awards for the development team.
Right, should we get into some awards then? Okay. So start off with the bowling performance of the year. So a game, or maybe a couple, where you felt one or two people stood out and in one spell of bowling.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, what I'm going to say here is I think that it's going to have to be a kind of a couple of mentions on this one, but I think I mentioned Sam and Josh, and I think that the two of them, you know, they haven't necessarily sort of opened the bowling every single week anyway for their age group teams all the time, but to do it and stick by it, and particularly, as I say, when, you know, you've got big guys coming at the end of an innings and trying to whack them all over the place, I think that takes a lot of guts. And they've both been learning about the right lines and lengths to bowl. They've taken wickets as well, and you know, they've been keen to listen to plans from, you know, not just me but from the other adults as well, and that's brilliant. So in terms of learning, I'd certainly say those two have done a really good job. I'd also mention Taylor in that, who I think, you know, again, getting overs in this sort of cricket has helped her massively.
Yeah, her first year of 40 over cricket as well.
Yeah, you know, and she's done really, really well. And I mean, again, you know, I went back to, you know, saying about Arian, he's bowled 6 overs through in most games. And again, you know, you wouldn't have the luxury to perhaps do that in a lot of matches. Yeah. He's learning on the go. But no, as I said, I think the two openers, you know, Sam Ward and Josh Flood have done a very good job of opening the bowling for us, and I look forward to them kind of, you know, getting a bit bigger and stronger and seeing where they go. Yeah,
very good. So Sam Ward and Josh Flood's opening partnership has taken the award this year. Moving on to batting, has there been an innings where somebody's, you know, really impressed you, maybe did something you didn't think they could do?
Well, I think the biggest trouble really all season was that it was very hard to kind of either get somebody to volunteer or me choose somebody to open the batting. Because what I always had in mind was, right, if I take one of the opening spots, that I can put Floody, Ben Ward, and Manish, just mix up the
around, yeah.
Because the last thing you really want is two adults to go in, and either they go on and score lots of runs, or they get out cheaply. And either way, really, you're in a bit of trouble. It's a good one. So, you know, I think most of the time, I think I had a different opening partner each week. And the very last game of the season when we played against Caythorpe, I think they put 160, I think, on the board. And Sam Smith opened, which he'd done, I think, once before with me. And what was great about it was that not only did Sam have the patience to bat for a long time, he actually should have, I think we put on about 40, I think, to the first wicket. But, you know, he actually found ways of scoring runs, you know, and Sam's very good at putting a bad ball away. He's one of the few that's got the power to be able to do that at the minute. You know, he can hit a ball hard if he wants to. But, you know, he had the patience to stick around me for a long time. I always get accused of running people out, but Sam just called it a bonkers running that one. Otherwise, I think we'd have easily put on a half century together. Yeah. But it was a great performance. So I'd mentioned Sam. I'd also mention Jacob Bailey. Who,
definitely.
You know,
he's impressive every time I've seen him.
Yeah, he knows he's got some work to do with his gloves still. He knows that. But, you know, again, he's been very, what's the word I'd use, very nuggety in the middle of an innings. You know, he's tried to stick around. Again, he's looked to score runs when he can. He's played some good powerful shots when he's had the chance to. I'd definitely mention those two. But as I say, Sam, to me, and you mentioned what Conrad said, Sam has progressed and he's learned that he can build an innings, which is quite a skill.
So Sam Smith with the batting performance of the year for opening the batting, good stuff.
And then so the last one, really the big one, your overall player of the year.
Yeah, well, I'm going to cop out here, to be honest, completely, because what really impressed me was the fact that I had a pretty consistent team, and you know, more often than not, I had Josh Flood, Sam Ward, Sam Smith, Taylor Porter, Callum Gardner, Jacob Bailey, you know, who just every week really put their names down and kept coming back. I know George Denner did a couple of times as well, and as I say, there's one game we had a bit of a different lineup, but those guys were, and Arian, I didn't without mentioning Arian there, but to me, you know, they stuck with it. And what was really gutting, by the way, I should mention this, and I know it's going to be on a public domain, but hey, you know, last game of the season, 166, I think, to beat Caythorpe. Yeah. And we missed out by one run, you know, which again was a heck of an achievement. But that I thought was rewarding. I said to all the young players, look how close we've come, you know, against a very sort of established team. And I just think all those young players to keep coming back, to keep doing it, it would be unfair of me to kind of go, oh yeah, that one's done a better job than the rest, because for all them to keep doing it, I think it's pretty special.
Good stuff. So just a real team effort in 2020.
Thanks for that, Paul. I think, like Paul said, again, it's important to stress that youth is very much the focus of that side, and developing these players into becoming second and first team cricketers in years to come. And obviously, you know, a bit of a cop-out, didn't pick a player of the year, but I think that really is just down to the fact that he couldn't choose. There were so many kids and young players that have done so well this season that he simply couldn't make a choice. But, you know, well done to Josh, Sam Ward and Sam Smith for their individual performances, which I think were superb. Every time I saw them, they were fantastic. And that development team is really hopefully going places, and those kids in the next few years will make the step up into Saturday second 11 cricket and further. Moving on now to the next award, which is the best new signing. So this award goes to someone who before this season hasn't played for Bingham Cricket Club before, is new to the club. Again, there's so many people that we found this year. Our recruitment was superb. We had Stuart Mills at first team level who came in and batted 8 or 9 and made 30 every week and picked up some key wickets. Then in this, going down the club, we had James Henderson, came in and hit 90 not out in his first game, and then contributed 20 or 30 almost every week. We had Matt Colborne who opened the batting and did very well, particularly on a Sunday when he hit a very good 40. Going further down than that, there's so many people. Fred Dulwich came in and played for the threes, stepped up into the twos and was part of the final winning team. And we've had so much recruitment this year, but it's been very good recruitment. I'm sure there's people I've forgotten off the top of my head, but it was fantastic. There was so much competition for this award, but in the end there was a winner, and I'll cut now to Bingham Sunday 11 bowler George Axtell, who will reveal the winner of the award.
Hi everyone, I hope everyone's all doing well. This year I'm going to be presenting the winner of the Best New Signing Award. This year it goes to Stuart Mills and James Henderson. Congratulations, guys, and hope to see you all soon.
Thank you, George. Great to see Hendo and Stu getting some recognition. They've both done fantastically, and hopefully they'll be here for years to come. But like I said earlier, it's important to stress there's so many people who have come in and done superbly that it was very hard for the voters to make a decision on that one. Next we'll go to the Sunday First 11 for the awards. It was a mixed bag for us this year. We sort of weren't in the league, but sort of were. The league was cancelled. We just played friendlies against the teams we'd have been playing anyway. We struggled at first, but I think once Louis sort of found who his players were and what worked for him, we won a few games. We won an excellent game on the last ball against Bottisford, and we competed very well against what were some very good teams out in Leicestershire. I think Louis can hold his head up high and will hopefully be ready to go again next year. But I caught up with Louis, and here's what he had to say about the team's performance. So, performances of the year. Start with bowling.
It was quite a difficult one.
Any honourable mentions first?
I think there's a few. Nige with his fourfer, but that's what you expect of Nige. Sam Porter bowled a lot of tight spells. Who else? No one really else. We didn't take a lot of wickets.
No, we didn't.
So it was quite an easy decision based on the fact we didn't take many wickets, and there was only a handful of games we won, and no one really bowled particularly well in those games. It was more of a team effort. So the the best bowling was for Joe Smith's first game of the season. 4 for 8
at Plumtree.
Admittedly, we lost the game.
You waited until they were 100 without loss to bring him on.
Yeah.
And he took 4 for 8 off 6.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, I mean, he's improved ridiculously.
Yeah, first 2 games of the season, he took 4 for them both, and that was it. He was in.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the only people to play every Tues game.
He played every Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely no point where I think either of us considered dropping it.
No. I didn't have the availability.
Okay, so batting performance of the year, I think.
There's a few more.
I know what you're going to choose, but I mean the team performance at Bottisford needs a mention because that day everyone
Dax scored 60 odd off 40, I reckon. Coleman got 40.
Yeah, Coleman hadn't done anything all season after I bought him in from Flint and bigged him up. Hasn't done anything.
I've got myself a couple of 50s. Tim in the friendly. Hayden in the friendly. Jarlo got a couple of good knocks.
Yeah.
I think got a 30. That's about it really. Yourself, 30 off 50 or whatever.
Yeah, 30 or 56. It's gritty. 26 not out of 18 against Bottisford.
But yeah, the award best batting goes to Tom Giles for his 53 off 34 or something like that. He just hits the ball too cleanly.
Away to Wilston Abbey.
Yeah, he just such a clean.
He just
hitter.
Came in. Everyone was struggling. We were 70 off for 6, and
he made the game entertaining.
Just made it look very easy.
So Tom Giles.
Okay, the big one then, player of the year.
It was quite difficult because I had a few that I had to pick someone that played most of the games, if not all, which ruled a few people out.
There was 2 for me really that you could have chosen.
It was between Sam and Joe, and they both bowled very well. I think Joe averages 18, Sam averages 13. Sam took 12 wickets, Joe took 11.
Batting in a few games as well.
Yeah.
Sam against Plumtree, Joe.
But I've given it to Sam based on the fact that he's just, as a captain, he's very easy to go up to and go, bowl here. And he will then bowl in that position 6 out of 6.
Yeah, he's had a good year, tied for wickets with his dad.
Yeah, and he's an economical bowler as well. He bowls where you want him to bowl.
So the Sunday First 11 player of the year for 2020 is Sam Porter.
Yeah.
So thanks to Louis for those. The batting, I think Tom Giles has come on leaps and bounds this year from someone last year who maybe didn't care about his wicket too much to this year. He really dug in at times for the team when we were struggling. A couple of 50s, a 40, 30 odd not out. He really has played well, and hopefully next year he'll be able to do it again. In terms of the bowling, Joe Smith again was unbelievable. I think the first game of the season the opposition were 100 without loss, and Joe came on and took 4 for in a couple of overs, then another 4 for the next week. He's come on tremendously, and it's great to see that a lad who's been at Bingham since he was 6 or 7 years old is doing so well, and I hope that Joe continues to do well. And as for Louis' Player of the Year, I think he had a decision to make, because any one of Gilo or Joe could have won it themselves, but in the end he's gone for Sam Porter. Sam Porter really is a captain's dream. You tell him where to bowl and he does that, and Louis recognised that, and he has contributed with the bat as well in a couple of games. So very impressed with Sam this year, definitely a deserved winner of the Sunday 11 Player of the Year. The next two awards are awards that have been around Bingham Cricket Club for a long time. The first one is the Best Junior in Adults Cricket Award. Now this really could have gone to a number of people. Maliki Hisham, by the end of the season, solid twos player, opened the bowling in the final, took a fourfer in the semi-final, which was unbelievable. Tom Cork, called up to the second team this year on merit, batted very well. The Gordon Beeson brothers, Harry scoring a lot of runs, Archie taking some wickets, Lewis Warner just come on leaps and bounds, bowling so accurately by the end of the year and becoming quite a destructive batsman in T20. And so many more. I'm sorry to who I forgot, but there's so many young lads who are coming through, and it's great to see. And here is junior cricket manager Nathan Hartland to reveal who the winner of the award is.
Hi all, as junior cricket manager I have the honour of announcing the best junior in adult cricket. There's been a few people that could have won this award this year, but the winner of the award is Maliki Hisham.
So big well done to Maliki, who, as I said earlier, has been absolutely fantastic this year. By the end of the season, he was one of the first names on my team sheet, and hopefully next year he will be again. He's just improving and improving and improving. His bowling's getting quicker and more accurate. It's fantastic to see, and we just hope he can carry on going. So well done, Maliki. Same again next year, please. Now moving on to the most improved player of 2020. So now I'm going to go to Sunday First 11 captain Louis Hartland, who's going to reveal the most improved player of 2020.
Hi all, been given the pleasure of presenting Bingham CC's most improved player this year. There's been a fair few nominations, I think. Lewis Warner got a couple of nominations for a big improvement this year. Loz with his batting, I think he averaged 90, big improvement, but this year most improved player is Joe Smith.
As I said earlier, Joe has been truly excellent this year. He's been fantastic, and even batting, he's had a couple of games where he's come in and hit 20-25 at the end of an innings, but his bowling is just really is a captain's dream, much like Sam Porter. You tell him what to bowl and he will do it to a T. He's fantastic, and I hope that he keeps going, and I'm sure he does as well, but well done Joe, thoroughly deserved. So now moving on to my team, the Saturday second 11. It was an absolutely fantastic year for the second 11, a dream year as a captain. We won every single game of cricket we played. We finished top of the league, won the semi-final and the final, and it was just a fantastic atmosphere around the team. It really was. Everyone wanted to be there, everyone wanted to win, and it was a great buzz, and it was fantastic. Not a lot I can say about it really. It was honestly the best season of cricket I've ever had, and we hope next year we can replicate that and gain a promotion in a year that really counts. So as for batsman of the year, or batting performance of the year I should say, it really was difficult because there's so many people scoring 50s, Dave Axtell, Carl Smith, James Henderson, George Farrell, Loz Utley. So many people contributed with the bat this year, but there was one innings for me that stood out in particular. It was a game away at Kenilton. It was third or fourth game of the season, and it was our first real test. We were 33 for 4 when I came out to bat at number 6, and I was thinking in my head, I'll take 100 here. It's a defendable total. And Loz Utley at the other end was not having that, and he hit 107 not out, and was still there at the end. It was an incredible knock, and we got up to I think about 198, and Loz was superb that day. Everything he hit went to the boundary. It was a pleasure to bat with, he really was, and so for that reason the winner of the batting award for the twos this year is Loz Utley for his 107 not out against Kenilton. Okay, so moving on to the bowling performance of the year for the second 11. Again, so many performances that stick out, but the particular one that's been the winner I wasn't actually there for, so I'm going to go to second 11 vice captain Carl Smith, who's going to tell you a bit more about that. So unfortunately Carl wasn't able to record this segment, so you got me again. The twos bowling performance this year goes to a player who improved so much throughout the season. He started his season off in the threes and then came to us and did superbly, to a point where he was opening the bowling in the final, which was great to see. I wasn't actually there for this performance, but I've been told a lot about it. He came on in the middle overs in the semi-final and took 4 for 7, which to do that in any semi-final is fantastic, but when you're only 15 years of age is even better. So this year the Twos Bowling Award goes to Maliki Hisham. Well done, Maliki. Hope to see more again next year. As we've said, his name's come up numerous times. Maliki's been superb this year, and that bowling performance really was testament to that. Okay, so the big one, the second 11 player of the year. Again, so many people in contention. Joe Smith, fantastic with ball and pretty good with bat at times. Tristan Hill dug us out of a big hole with the bat at Watton and bowled superbly all year. Lozat Lee scored hundreds of runs, 50s, 100, incredible. Carl Smith as well, dug in for us really well, hit a 50, a couple of 40s. But the one I've gone for is the same as Louis. I've gone for Sam Porter, who really is just a captain's dream. He says, "What do you want me to bowl, Skip?" He does it, and then he fields well as well. His intensity is fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to having him again next year, hopefully, if he's not pinched by the first team. So well done, Sam. Keep going, and you've earned it. So before we get into the last few awards, I just want to really say a few thank yous to people at the club. First, of course, to Marius Delcourt, whose work on the ground is absolutely incredible. Butfield has become a track where a lot of runs can be scored, as we've seen in a few games this year. So thank you, Maz, as always, for your hard work. Then the committee, I've not got enough time to go through name by name, but the committee works so hard behind the scenes, particularly this year with all of the COVID stuff, making sure that we've got the sanitizer and we know what all the rules are, and it really has been fantastic work from the committee this year. But particularly two people I want to name, Paul Maylard-Mason and Josh Kingsley, the chairman and senior cricket manager. Absolutely unbelievable work to get games on this year. They've been on Facebook pages all week trying to get fixtures and friendlies, and they've both worked so hard, and without them this year I don't think anywhere near as much cricket would have been played at Bingham Cricket Club. So thank you to Paul and Josh. I know I've mentioned some of them before, but thank you so much to the parents who help out, whether it's Dax or Stu doing some umpiring, or Liz or Sarah doing some scoring, or teas or drinks or whatever. There's so many parents of our junior players who help out no end, and it really does make life so much easier when you've got people willing to help out. So thank you to anyone who's given a lift or umpired or scored this season, because without you it'd be a lot harder to get the games on. So into the last few awards, we'll start with the first team awards. The first team, again, like the second team, did very well this season. Only lost one game in the group, and then won the semi-final and a nail-biting final in the end. So 2 trophies for Bingham Cricket Club this year is tremendous work. And Tim Snapes, again, as first team captain, has done very well. I'm sure no one will be taking that title off him anytime soon, because he really does do some fantastic work. The boys love playing under him, I'm sure. And the team is, again, going forward. We're recruiting well, and they keep doing well, which is fantastic. So I caught up with Tim and Vice Captain Hayden Brooks, and they chatted me through their picks for the awards this year. So award time. So we'll start off with bowling performance of the year. So someone who in a game stood out, bowled a good spell.
And for me, the ones that were in consideration were Nigel's spell against Hickling in the rain with the ball that you couldn't grip.
Yeah.
I think he bowled overs 36, 38 and 40 as well in a close game. 3 for 18, fair play. I think Nigel suffers though from, he set the bar so high.
Yeah, it's kind of what people expect from him. Yeah.
And then the only other one that I think was honourable mention is Stewie for coming into a final, having bowling first change all year, opening the bowl and doing it really well, and then bowling to death again and getting the winning wicket.
Yeah.
But the one we sort of coalesced on was just that George Farrell final, 8 overs in a row, really cheap, really effective, getting big wickets, being consistent throughout, knowing a job and executing. That was probably what got us from in contention to we're going to win in the final.
So the winner, George Farrell's 4 for 35 in the final against Southall.
Well done, George.
And batting performance of the year, batting innings, honourable mentions.
I think honourable mentions.
You can say yourself.
I mean, I'm obviously going to say myself. But I think Alex had a 90 odd, an imperious 90 odd. Hayden's Newark, again, I know it wasn't a big score, but that was we finally rocked up after me and Jakey not getting any. Throughout the early games, there was always one of us who rocked up. Whether it was Alex, whether it was Hayden.
Say Cam Good, what was that, 40 or 20 years. I've not seen people hit, like someone hit the ball like that I know we see it every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We know it's there, but just to do it. I mean, Morgs as well. I think he's up there with the top 3, or top 2 most consistent blokes in the team. Just good all the time. I mean, as a keeper as well. Obviously, we're not going to speak about keeping, but generally all year it's been really good.
Me and Jakey against Keyworth opening the batting.
Yeah, 100 and whatever it
170
was
run partnership.
Yeah.
You know that Louis got everybody at some point in the year.
Yeah, Louis scored a 50
has
against
chipped in at some point and scored runs for the team.
Yeah, even Stuart, who doesn't have a big score to his name, has scored 3 or 4 30 odds at number 8 or 9.
There's a lot of innings you can remember. Yeah, that's what I would say. But I think award-wise, I wasn't there, so you should probably talk it. But, was Jakey in the semi-final?
Yeah.
Jake's 88 not out against who we playing in the semi-final?
Keyworth. Yeah.
Yeah. Back through the innings.
Yeah, he did, and that's it. It's just because he makes it look just so easy doing it. He's just so laid back. He's actually really nice to bat with, just because he is so laid back. He's quite chill, and just the way he goes back and to bat 40 overs and let. I mean, I think at the beginning of the game we actually got into a bit of trouble, and then me and him shared a partnership, and then like I say, shared the partnership. Then afterwards with Cam and then with Morgs, to then see that innings out. And yeah,
I mean, Batman got out for 4 and Louis for 2 at 2 or 3. So, and Collins came in, you came in. Everyone just had partnerships with Jake really all day. That was when Cam came in and hit.
And that's kind of the perfect
5
way
6s.
of doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, we would normally be chatting about Jakey's done his job. One of us, like whether in this game it was me, Collins or Cam, go on and get that 60, 70 or more. But all of us kind of did just a 20 and 30, 40. So yeah, it was just a good day. It was as complete a batting as I've seen from where it had been like multiple people batting. I mean, it was harder for some of the other guys who had just come into the team. I mean, like JB, and he had the captaincy on his shoulders that day. So, do you know what I mean? It is a struggle.
Yeah. So yeah, the winner of the first team batting performance, Jake Pantley. Now the big one, the first 11 Player of the Year. Any honourable mentions first before you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of them. It's probably 2 people that are in contention. One from the batting side, one from the bowling side. And the bowling one, kind of, even through this little chat, needs our introduction of it's going to be Nigel again, just because he just does it every single week. And with Nigel, if the economy's over 4, he's had a bad day. If he's not got at least 2-3 wickets, he's had a bad day, and that just says a lot for how good he is. But again, I think he's a victim of his own success. And the bar's just set incredibly high for him. I think
when the first team come back on a Saturday, it's who got wickets. Oh, Nigel's got 3. Oh, okay. It's just standard by now.
Yeah, and there's probably a bit of, I'm a batter, I'm going to be batting biased, but hey, have a new captain. But the winner, opening the batting, I can personally tell you, is not easy. It's not easy to be consistent. You see, even at the professional game, opening batters have lower averages because they just get good balls more often. So when someone does it consistently, scores runs consistently, and is leading run scorer, you just can't turn that away, I think. And
I mean, 385 runs in 9 games at 55.
Yeah, I know. If you just heard those stats alone, you'd say, yeah, well done.
Yeah.
And the fact that he opens the batting, and the fact that he looks so good doing it, and the fact that he's really calm and just keeps us in most games, that's Player of the Year for me. So Jake Pantley.
Yeah, so first team Player of the Year, I believe back-to-back years. I might be wrong. It's Jake Pantley. Pretty sure we did it last year.
Applause will be inserted there.
Thanks Hayden and Tim for joining me there. It was great to talk through the success of the first team. It's fantastic when it's going well at the top end of the club, then it has a ripple effect throughout the club, and it's great. Well done Jake for again just you average 40 and you score 40 every week. It's fantastic. You're just so reliable, and it must be great to have as a captain. And then to George Farrell, who was sort of in and out of the first team this year, played a couple of 2s games for me, but when he was called up into the final, I'm not sure he thought he would have had the impact he did, and to take 4 for in any final is fantastic, but to do that in a first team game is even better. So well done, George, much deserved. So we've got 2 awards left. The first one is for the batter of the year. So this is the person with the highest batting average, but a minimum of 8 innings played we decided on for this year, as it was a shortened season. There's so many people in contention. Loz Utley scored a lot of runs, Jake Pantling, Louis Hartland did very well. But now to Bingham, all-time leading wicket taker, and he's up there on the runs as well, George Farrell, to reveal who the winner of the batting award this year is.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. This year I've been asked to present the batting award for Bingham Cricket Club. This year goes to a chap who scored over 350 runs, including 2 50s and a century. This year the batting award goes to Loz Utley. Congratulations, Loz, and I hope to see you all next year.
So thanks, George, and well done, Loz. You've been superb all year. It was a pleasure to have you in my team. I know when you were playing. And I hope you can do it again next year and that you're scoring as many runs, because that would be very, very helpful for a promotion push. So last award we're giving out today is for the bowler of the year. I don't think there'll be any surprises in guessing who's going to win this one, but some honourable mentions: Sam Porter taking 25 wickets in what is essentially half a season, Joe Smith taking 24. We've spoken a lot about those 2 guys already in this video, but they've both done absolutely superbly. And there'll be more to come from them next year. But the winner, I'm sure none of you will have any trouble in guessing who it is. And I'm going to cut to former Bingham Cricket Club overseas player Jacob Horn to announce the winner.
Hi everyone at Bingham Cricket Club, it's Jacob here. Hope you're all doing well over there in the UK at the moment. So Tommy's asked me to present the award for the bowling this year. And that award goes to Nigel Porter, who took 25 wickets at an average of 8.5. Congratulations, mate. Cheers all. Bye.
Thank you very much, Jacob. It's great to hear from you there. And well done, Nigel. What can I say about Nigel Porter? To average 8.5 with 25 wickets is insane. The man isn't human. He's unbelievable. I really don't have any words to describe him. He just keeps doing it year after year, and he's a fantastic asset to Bingham Cricket Club. So well done, Nigel. So that is it for the awards for 2020. Thank you for everyone who played, scored, umpired, drove people to games. It was great to get cricket on, and hopefully we're going to have even more cricket in 2021, so we'll see you then.